Shalom, everyone. I would like to give you a little bit of history of Machal. There were 4,800 Machalniks who came from 59 countries to fight for Israel in the War of Independence. Most of the Machalniks were veterans of World War II. And as Ben-Gurion put it, the Machal forces were the greatest contribution by the diaspora in the survival of the state of Israel. This morning, you heard the names of 131 Machalniks who lost their lives in the War of Independence. 122 men and 9 women lost their lives in the fight for Israel. Yitzhak Rabin stated at the time that the Machal Memorial was consecrated, and he put it this way: you came to us when we needed you most, during those crucial days of our War of Independence. I had the privilege of serving in the Israel Air Force, and I had a further privilege of being on the very first flight of the Israel Air Force on the 14th day of May 1948, at the very time that Ben-Gurion was declaring the independence of the state of Israel. We don't really have the time to give you a broader vision of the role of Machal, but it really was a high privilege to have served for the state at such a critical time. I will conclude by saying that we must never forget that we are living in a miracle. The return of the Jewish people to their homeland after an exile of 2,000 years. So despite the difficulties and the problems that we have today, we must draw courage from the days of the War of Independence. I thank you all for the opportunity of sharing some of the points relating to the War of Independence. 73 years ago. And one point I would really like to emphasize. It's a date I would like you to remember. The 29th day of May 1948, when 4 Messerschmitts, which were flown by 2 Israelis and by 2 Machaniks stopped the Egyptian army at Ashdod. I believe that that was one of the high points in the 5,000 years of history of the Jewish people. The Egyptian army had overrun the kibbutzim in the south of Israel, and on the 28th day of May, they were at Ashdod. The next day, they would have been in Tel Aviv, where the provisional government of Israel was located at that time. And if that had happened, 2,000 years of prayers and dreams and hopes would have vanished into thin air. But today we have a wonderful state, and we have a great nation. Am Yisrael Chai, and bless you all.